Got our supplies here. We are having our 13th anniversary, and strange people that we are, we decided to get the boys something for our anniversary. So we're having them guess, but these are the supplies that we have. So this is what we're working with. This is a very big tree that was cut down probably about 35 years ago from what I can tell from the pasture. So it's got all these trunks coming up out of it. And we're gonna try and use the middle space, and then probably it's gonna come out past on one of the sides. And then that's gonna be the tree house is what they've decided. So kids sport started. We are simply gonna make this a quick and dirty project as fast as we ever make a project quick and dirty. So we've got these concrete blocks as the foundation for the posts. We have 2 of them in, just level the ground roughly to where it was going to be. Got them attached in with these 4x4 posts, and now we've got 1 crossboard. So we're just going to keep going with that all the way around, just the 4 posts, get them all interconnected, and then build on some cross bracing and floor from there.
We wanted it to be big enough for you guys to use as you get bigger.
So we have the frame for the treehouse built and mostly squared and leveled, and Jeremy is now putting on the joists. They're going to sit on the top of the frame with some hurricane ties for stability. And when these go on, I think the platform's going to be really nice and sturdy.
This joist right here, obviously there is a tree in the way.
Yeah, I can see that.
So what we're going to do is we're going to run it out, and then we're just going to join it to its 2 friends, an inch or 2 off of the tree, give the tree some room to grow, and then we'll run another one cross on the side that will, like in between the 2, that will go down to the end, and that will have most of the same level of stability, and it will allow us to get most of the floor in. The kids love playing and monkeying around with the trees, so having them inside of the tree house, while it creates some challenges for especially the roof when we get to that step, should be a lot of fun for the kids.
I agree.
He's helping. So we're about a third of the way, a little more into getting our decking on for the kiddos. And as you can see, they're already enjoying it. It's stiffening up this little play structure really nice. Not a whole lot of cross bracing to it yet. We'll see how stiff it is once the deck is on and the roof is on, because that will give it two distant points of connection. But right now it's already more than sufficient for keeping them standing. We obviously had to get a little bit of a deck on this thing because they're fairly far up here and prone to clumsy things like falling.
Hey, it's this board. This board smells yucky.
It does not. It smells good. It's called cedar. Cedar
What?
smells great.
Which means I don't like the smell of cedar.
Dan.
I don't feel like it's the good smelling board ever.
So we are cutting around a tree. And in this case, we're not cutting the full width of the board or terminating. So we're going to just give it a graceful curve. Can't do that with a chop saw. And this is just a rough cut for a kid's treehouse. So I'm just going to go ahead and use a sawzall. As you can see, it just gives you a very rough and simple cut. Cedar is actually a pretty easy going board as far as cutting goes, and this is a cedar little deck that we're doing for them. So very simple, a lot easier than trying to use, I mean, most any other tool wouldn't be quite as fast as that. So, and it's still got a pretty good amount of strength because we're only cutting about half of the board. If you're going more than that, usually I'll just cut extra. And we are leaving a good gap around the tree for growth and movement of the tree. We decided to go with cedar when we got to the improvement store, just because Trex was obviously more expensive, but the severe weather boards that we've been planning on using ended up being too expensive. That moment when you are right down to the last board on your purchase of materials, and then you cut the last board wrong. So we're on day 2 of working on our kids' treehouse. And I'm gonna be breaking away and heading down and working on the house while Casey does the majority of the work on the roof until we get to the metal, and then we'll tag team that together. We've got a couple of things to do. Do you want to talk about what you're working on?
Okay, I feel like this is a test. I'm going to be putting the 2x4s, the remaining ones at the top, since we went into town and got our hurricane ties yesterday. So I'm going to be putting them in at the edge there, and then adding one there, and then figuring out how to attach them on either side without these because the brackets won't work there. Need to get some screws into the stairs and fill in a hole over there, and then start putting these across the roof to put our metal roofing on. We're using some scraps left over from our shop building to put a metal roof on. Kids dry in the rain. So we'll see how I do. For our last 2x4 on this side that needs to support the roof, we didn't have a spot to use our hurricane ties. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of pressure treated 2x6 and just put it over the edge. And the 2x4 is going to sit up right next to it. And then we're going to do the same thing over here on this side. Alright, so as you can see, we've got the cross braces on for the roof and the 2x4s, and so the next project is going to be putting the actual metal on there, and for that we're going to call in Jeremy.
So we are ready for the roof on our little treehouse for the boys. We've got metal cutter out here, and this is all metal that was ended up being leftover extra from the shop build. So we're not paying for any of the metal, which is great given metal costs right now are still way up. Lumber's come back down, metal hasn't really. And we've decided we're gonna we have more of the green left, so we're gonna put the green on the roof because we need more of that. And then we're gonna use one of the gray, which was the roof on our shop, as kind of a back wall. And then we'll use another one as just a little section of front wall, just to give some enclosure to the treehouse.
Mm-hmm. That way the boys have a little shelter from the windy and rainy side of the hill.
They really like slides, swings, like the fire pole, so we're gonna try and get them a bunch of that type of stuff to come kind of off of the treehouse this way. This tree, and there's one up there as well, the fir, are gonna be cut-ins on this outside, and this tree on the bottom is a cut-in down here. So she's measuring right now to see how far apart they are, and we're going to try to go for about 6 inches of overlap off the side here, and then wherever else we get to with the sheet will be how far we get to on this side. So we just marked a line from one side to the other. We're going to go 1 foot past the top on the roofing and one foot down on the roofing. That should give us some overhang. Just got our little metal cutter here. Gonna run across this section, and then that will be long enough. We're gonna have to do a bunch of cuts to go around the trees, so that'll be fun. This is not a straight line, and it's also very sharp. So we're gonna solve that problem by having that be the top of the treehouse roof. That's above where anybody other than my height can even reach with their hand. It's like, I don't know, 8 feet up. So it's pretty high up there. So boys are never gonna encounter it up there. And then the other nice thing about this being a treehouse is that if we feel like it and it works out on the next sheet that we cut, we can actually use this scrap, give it a little bit of overlap on the roof. And I'm not trying to seal water in some way out. We're just trying to provide a flow for the water to go down. So, you know, if there are 2 pieces that end up working out together, then perfect. You know, that's great. So we just took measuring tape, grabbed the bottom purlin and the top purlin, measured over, put a mark down, and that's how we figure the square of this roof, quick and dirty.
short of your line here.
Well, yeah, I thought I was going to try and hit that purlin. I guess that was.
You will still hit the purlin if you take about 1.25 inches off. I think it's about the same distance.
So I cut way too much on the top. You want to try? Take this. That drape. I'll hold it for you.
Okay.
Let me pull the sheet on the top, maybe. Oh, she's still off.
Well, you know what? It's off.
So
It's fine.
you're always off.
You know what? If it's right down here, we can screw it into this purlin and this purlin and take off any
It
more.
looks
We
pretty
can't
close.
do that.
Oh yeah, it's flush on the. Oh, never mind. It would be flush on the bottom. You're right. That's fine. All right, you can put that one up now.
So we've wrapped up on the roof here. Jeremy's just putting in the last screws. Took 3 rows of siding, but we managed it with not too much waste and just a few holes for the trees to keep growing through. And the next thing on our list is to add some wood pieces wherever there might be a metal edge that's exposed. And then I think we're going to call this good and wrapped up.